And what about starfish?
Starfish. First, it will take out its intestine, and then
No,
it will
stomach
will
dear.
take out its stomach.
stomach,
Mhm.
and then it will check the softer part of the prey, and then it will release some juices, and then I think it will take back the instant in the stomach.
Yeah, right. Yes, Vaiga, that is how starfish obtains its food. Okay, now we begin talking about digestion. So digestion, we discussed that it is simply the process of breakdown of complex foods into soluble form, like the carbohydrates, different types of oils, different types of vitamins. Okay, we consume. It is in very complex form. It is not in soluble form. Like if you eat it, the body first needs to break down it into simpler parts, into simpler form, so that it becomes in soluble state. It dissolves into water. The water present in our body, it dissolves into it. Then our body can utilize it. Okay, so that is what we talked about digestion. Now, you see the plant-based foods which we consume. Okay, is it easy to digest plant-based foods, or is it easy to digest animal-based food? Yeah, guys, like which one is
Plant.
more easier?
I guess
Plant.
plants.
Plant.
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 Look, the thing here is now, plant food consists of a fiber called roughage. Okay, and it also consists of cellulose. Look, if you see the cell of a plant, we discussed that plant cells outer wall is made of plant cells outer wall is called cell wall, right? And this cell wall is not found in animal cell, remember that. So this cell wall of plants, it basically consists of cellulose in it. All right, guys. So remember, in our previous class we also talked about difference between plant and animal cell, and one of the fundamental difference is of cell wall, that plant cells consist of cell wall, that is its outer boundary. And what is the material it is made up of? It is made up of cellulose. But the question is, what is cellulose and how it is important for digestion, since we are talking about digestion, guys? Okay, look, all the plant-based foods which we are consuming, whether it's vegetables, whether you take example of a spinach, that is leafy vegetable, all of it consists of some amount of cellulose on it. But we humans lack the enzyme required to digest that cellulose. Look, we humans require cellulase, LASE, not cellulose. We humans require an enzyme called cellulase to be able to digest that to be able to digest the cellulose. But we humans do not have that enzyme. That is the problem. Okay, but still cellulose is not a problem for us. It is not getting digested in our body, but still it is not a problem. Why? It acts as a very important part of human diet. Why? Because it forms a major part of roughage that is essential for proper digestion. Now again, one question you guys must be thinking of, then what is this roughage now? Sundus and Vaiga? Yes, first you guys do tell me if this cellulose is clear to you or not. Sundus, you tell me what is cellulose.
Is something like a digestion kind of thing. Yeah.
Look, cellulose is
It
basically yeah.
like in some leaves it has cellulose, and it helps to like, no, it not helps. Yeah, it helps. It like does not help. It what else?
Okay, look. Vaiga, you tell me now.
Like human beings have cellulase and plants have cellulose.
No, you guys got it wrong here. Look, here you have a, just I'm taking a typical example. This is an animal cell. Okay, let's consider it to be an animal cell. Okay, and this here is a plant cell. Okay, the outer boundary, like the outer layer of the cell in plants cell is called a cell wall. It is called cell wall. And in case of animal cell, it is called as cell membrane. Like we all have boundaries outside our houses, right, guys? It is similar to boundary of the cell, right? Look, the major difference between the boundary of an animal cell and the boundary of a plant cell is that the boundary of cell wall, it is made up of cellulose and it is strong and rigid. It does not changes its shape. Like if you punch into a plant, into the stem of the plant, does its shape and size changes? If the plant is if it's a tree, its shape and
No.
size does not changes.
No.
While if you punch someone in the stomach or in their face, they might develop some deformity. If you punch on muscles, it compresses. Why is it so? Because the outer boundary of this of the membrane is not tough and rigid. It is soft. Okay. The basic thing related to our discussion here is this term cellulose. What is this cellulose? So as I already told you, the cell wall of plant cell, it is made up of cellulose. Now I hope that's clear. Yeah.
Cellulase is it? Cell wall is cellulase or cellulose?
No,
Sorry.
it's CELLULOSE. Okay.
Cell
This
wall is
It's
made up of
cellulase.
cellulose.
cell wall is made up of cellulose.
Huh.
Okay.
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 Yes.
So whether you eat vegetables, whether it's a leafy vegetable or different types of vegetables, or whether you eat fruit, okay, all of them consist of this cellulose. Okay, guys. Now the major problem with which we humans is that we humans do not have the enzyme required to digest this cellulose. Enzymes are basically liquids secreted by our body to digest the food. Okay, so we humans do not have the necessary enzyme required to digest this cellulose, and that enzyme was basically called as cellulose, which we humans cellulase, not cellulose. It's cellulase which we humans do not have, but still it is a very important part of our diet. Why? Because it adds roughage to our food. So the question is here that what is this roughage now? So roughage is simply that portion of the plant food, such as whole grain, nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, and vegetables that your body can't digest, that our body can't digest. Okay. So the question is that as we were discussing that cellulose is important, it forms part of roughage in our body. So how is this important here? Look, you guys might not have heard of this, but if you were aware of the term, you would have heard about this roughage somewhere. Like if you add roughage in your diet, it improves your digestion. That's why if someone is suffering, is having constipation or a bad stomach, or someone's digestion is weak, then the doctor recommends them to eat salad, no? To eat vegetables. Yeah, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like someone is having a bad upset stomach, or if someone's digestion is weak, then the doctor won't recommend him to eat meat or to eat eggs or to eat spicy foods. He will recommend the person to eat vegetables, more and more vegetables. Why is it so? Because vegetable consist of roughage, basically cellulose. Okay, so
Sir, this roughage is only in plants, right? Not in animals.
it is only in plants. Okay, so roughage has numerous healthy effects on our gut, that is in our stomach, in our intestine. Gut here refers to stomach and intestine. All right, stomach and intestine. Such as it increases the bulk of stool. Stool is basically the solid waste. Okay, it increases the bulk of the stool, decreases constipation, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Now, in our gut, okay, in our stomachs and intestine, there are some bacteria living in our stomach and intestines as well, which are very beneficial for us. Okay, so see, bacteria are not present only in outside environment but inside the human body as well. Okay, so there are some beneficial bacteria also. So those beneficial bacteria feeds upon the roughage, feeds upon basically cellulose, right? The bacteria is present in our gut, it basically feeds on cellulose, it basically eats the cellulose. Okay, apart from that, the cellulose that is basically roughage. Okay, it has numerous benefits, like it increases the bulk of the stool, it decreases constipation. Okay, and foods which are high in roughage are also naturally richer in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Okay, so different types of fruits which you consume are rich in vitamins. Okay, different types of foods you consume, plant-based foods which you consume are rich in minerals and antioxidants as well. Now, you guys must be having one more confusion here. That is, what is this roughage now and what is this cellulose? Look, consider roughage to be a broad topic. Okay, and cellulose is one part of it. Cellulose is a type of roughage. Okay, Vaika, read this statement here. Read this one.
Okay. Roughage is the portion of plant food such as whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, fruits, and vegetables that your body can't digest.
Okay, so one thing, if you guys see here, which our body cannot digest, is also part of the roughage, is cellulose. Yeah, like it says, roughage is the portion of plant foods. Okay, like these plant foods, roughage is found in these types of plant foods, and the roughage usually does not get digested in our body. So one example of roughage here is cellulose, that does not get digested in our body. All right, guys. Okay, but it helps in several ways. Now I think we should move ahead then, if it's clear. Yeah, Sundus and Vaiga.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just remember one important line, that cellulose is a type of roughage that itself does not get digested because we do not have the necessary enzyme to digest this cellulose, but it helps in decreasing constipation, it helps in bulk of a stool. Okay, and it helps us in providing different types of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Okay, guys, then now in our previous class we discussed till glands. No, we started about
Yes,
digestion
sir.
in humans.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, Sundus, tell me, what are the different parts of alimentary canal?
Canal, the I know. Food pipe or esophagus, and
Okay,
that called
in a
small
sequence,
intestine. The
Sundus, in a sequence, answer in a sequence, like which is the first part, then second.
um
Okay, no issue, you can take help from the diagram
I,
here.
Yeah, I remember. The
Okay.
mouth or buccal cavity, food pipe or esophagus,
Hmm.
small intestine, large intestine, and
Stomach.
anus. Anus.
Anus
Anus
is the
is
last.
there.
That is the last part you forgot about. I think you forgot about the stomach.
Yeah, stomach. Stomach.
Yeah, stomach also. Okay, guys.
Anus. Also.
Yeah, anus is also there. Okay, the question is to both of you guys. There are only 3 questions here. I guess there are 3 questions only. Okay, you guys have to give your answers in the chat box, and then we will move ahead. We will start our discussion from the mouth, that is the buccal cavity. Okay, give your answer on the chat box, and remember, you guys have to answer on the ID from which you guys are able to see me. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is first one is correct, Sandosh. Yeah, Vaiga, have you sent your answer? I guess you
Yes,
you have sent on the.
for the first one I have sent it.
Okay. Mention the number of question also, like which questions answer you guys are sending. Okay. Vaiga, I haven't received your answer. I think you have sent on the wrong ID. You guys are required to send the ID on which you guys are able to see me. Okay. I guess I will need to give different names, like a shorten the one name so that it becomes convenient. Yes, Vaiga, have you sent the answer? Yeah, now it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Look, the first answer of both of you guys are correct. That is none of the above. Meaning that it starts from which part?
Buccal cavity or
Yeah,
oral cavity.
exactly. Buccal cavity, oral cavity, or simply mouth. Just on the status. Now, for the second one, you both have answer. Your answers are wrong for the second one. Sundus, it's not D, and Vaiga, it's not. Sorry, Sundus, it's not B, and Vaiga, it's not D. No, you both have answered D. That is incorrect
So
here.
I didn't give answer for the second one.
I actually haven't told the answer of the second one. Look,
No, actually I didn't give the answer. I didn't typed on the chat.
okay, you haven't read. Okay, sure. Sorry. Sundus, I've received your answer for the third one also. But for the second one, it's wrong. Let Vaiga answer, then we will discuss. Sundus, your answer of third question is wrong, Sundus. Please read the options once again. No, look, Vaiga, you answered that it's option number C, and Sundus, you answered that it's option number D for question number 2. Both of them are wrong, because if you read the question, it says that there are given some pairs of digestive system, choose the odd one out. If you guys remember in the previous class, I told you about glands. What are they? They are basically associated with alimentary canals, and their basic function is to secrete digestive juices into the alimentary canal. And there are three of them: livers, pancreas, and salivary gland. Right?
Yes, sir.
So there are three glands, no? Liver, pancreas, and salivary
Stomach.
gland are glands, while
Stomach.
stomach is not a gland. So stomach is the answer. Okay, Sundus, you also got this one. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought I thought it was not the digestive system.
No,
It was
no,
like
no,
I
no.
forgot there was three
Yeah,
glands.
the
That was the
first
gland.
yeah, the first part of answering the question is that read the question at least twice. Okay. Now for the third one, Vaiga, you haven't sent the answer of third one. And Sundus,
So
your answer is
No,
wrong.
can you
Please
I
read the
just
question once
find
again.
some more time to find the answer, please?
Okay,
Just
sure.
some.
By the way, Vaiga, your school started when? In the month of June or earlier?
So I didn't hear what. Can you repeat what you asked?
I asked that when your school started, in the month of May or June?
So I don't remember it. Like
Okay, like you must be remembering the name of the month at least.
I don't remember.
Okay, okay, no issue. Okay, Sundus, again, it's wrong, dear. Look, look here, guys. For question number 3 now, if you read the question properly here, what does the question says? Which of the statement is or are which of the statement is or are incorrect about eating habits of animals? See option number A. Animals that obtain their food by killing other animals are called as scavengers. Is it correct, Sundus and Vaiga?
No, sir, it's not correct.
It's not correct now. So
Yes,
the
sir.
question is
Not
asking which one is incorrect. So obviously option number A, because the animals that hunt down other animals, they are called as carnivorous. Okay. Yeah, Sundus, you hearing?
I didn't read the question properly. That's why I got it wrong.
That is why, no. That's why I say that read the question at least twice. Now rest options are correct here. Okay, like organisms that obtain their food from other animals, either by living inside or outside. Okay. So living inside, but meaning those parasites that live inside the body, those are called as endoparasite. Okay. Since the word came here, so it's better to know about the parasites. Like parasites can be living inside the body and outside the body as well, and that lives outside the body are called as exoparasite. Okay. Now option number C, it's called omnivorous, that consumes both plants and animals, and herbivorous only survives by eating plant food. Okay, now move on to next thing. Let's talk about the buccal cavity. Okay, guys. Now our alimentary canal basically starts from this buccal cavity, or also called as mouth here. Okay. Now it is that portion of the alimentary canal where the food gets broken down physically and chemically as well. So chemical breakdown of the food happens by chewing and biting the food. Okay. And then for the chemical breakdown, we have got one of the gland present in our mouth, that is the salivary gland, that secretes saliva. That secretes
yes, sir.
saliva. Right. So that saliva breaks down the complex carbohydrate present in the food into simpler forms. Okay. Now there will be two questions, one for Sundus, one for Vaiga. Sundus, you tell me how complex carbohydrates are broken down. It is broken down into what? And Vaiga, the question for you is that fatty oils present in the food is broken down into what? By this saliva.
Sir, can you run with the question again? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, the question is that the complex carbohydrate present in our food is converted into simple substances by saliva. What do we call that simple substances? And Vaiga, you tell me, fatty oils, like oily foods which we eat,
Yes, sir.
saliva acts upon them as well, and it converts them also into simple substances. What do we call them as?
Simple food.
Yeah,
Sugar, or simple food.
sugar, glucose. It's simple glucose or sugar.
Yeah, that.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And Vaiga?
Sir, can you repeat the question? Actually,
Yeah,
I
the
couldn't
question
hear
actually
you
was
properly.
that the oily food which we consume, saliva acts upon them and converts them into what?
Like glucose or
It was glycerol.
oh, yes, yes,
Yeah, remember here, no? I told you guys
yes,
that
sir.
the oily food converts into glycerol. All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay, okay, no issue. And one more thing, have you guys been taking notes of the classes or not? Like whatever we are discussing in the class?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So we can do it in one way, that you guys take a screenshot of each slide. In that way, you can take just note
I
the.
just record. I just record.
Okay, you just
I just
record
record.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's good. All right, guys. So basically, the physical breakdown, the teeth breaks down it into smaller pieces. Okay, and saliva breaks down it chemically. Okay, and the tongue helps in the mixing of the food with the saliva. Okay, now moving on, let's talk about the different types of teeth present in our mouth. Okay, so in our childhood, we all had milk teeth. Like you guys might be having milk teeth now. Yeah. So in
Yes,
the
I
early
am.
childhood, there's a set of teeth that grows in children, and then it falls off after some ages. Like when the child reaches age of 6 to 8 years or 10 years, then at that time the milk teeth it falls off, right, guys? Then
Yes, sir.
there grows another set of teeth after the milk teeth have fallen off. Okay. So the teeth that grows for the second time, they are called as permanent teeth. Why? Because they will not fall afterwards. Okay, it might fall if someone meets injury, if someone is injured, okay, or someone gets punch in their face. That's another thing. So they will generally remain during the lifetime of the person. Okay, until he reaches the old age. So different types of teeth, if you guys can see here, what are they? See the front teeth here. See the front teeth here. These four teeth here. Yeah. This one, this one, this one, and these four
There
here.
are four type of teeth, right?
Yeah, there are four types of teeth. Okay. So the first four teeth, this one and these four here. What do we call them? We call them as incisors. Good. So what is the function of incisor? Like the front part of your teeth, what does it do? It
They have a
basically,
sharp teeth,
yeah,
like sharp,
okay. If you eat an apple, it basically does the work of cutting and biting the food, right?
straight cutting edge to cut and bite food.
Uh,
Yes.
But all kids do, right? The cutting of apple and that.
Which one? Yes, Sundas?
I was asking that you told that only the four teeth, like that teeth one, that it will help to cut the apple and chew it, but all tooths do it, right?
Yeah, all teeth, basically their function is to break down the food into smaller particles, right? But if you look at the type of teeth, their shapes are different and they have got different functions to do. Like the breakdown of food involves several steps, right? Like if I give you a piece of a stone and I ask you to convert it into powder form, so first you will hammer it down, okay, right? So that will basically break down the bigger pieces into smaller pieces. Then you will need to put that smaller pieces of rocks under a grinder, so it will be grinded and then converted into powder. So similarly, the front four teeth located on the upper and lower jaw, their function is basically to cut and bite the food, right? Then see
I,
this teeth here. Yes, on this.
it's like a function of hammer.
Yeah, we can say that. Okay, but this teeth can cut very sharply. So hammer is a different thing. Okay, you can compare it to a chainsaw, right? Chainsaw. You guys have seen a chainsaw?
It's
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
chainsaw. Basically used to cut down trees like this.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Anyways, so next pair of teeth you will see it is called as canine here. This teeth here. If you guys are able to see this one,
Yes, sir. Canines. There are two.
there are two on the lower jaw, two on the upper jaw. Their
Yes, sir.
function is basically
Yes, sir.
to pierce and tear the food. So if someone is eating a flesh, for example, take example of lions, they have got bigger canines as compared to humans. Why? Because the function of canine is to tear down the food, tear down the food and pierce the meat of different animals, right? So certain foods needs to be tear down. Okay. Okay. So the types of teeth in this one. So first one we saw it's milk teeth. Okay. So that basically falls off when the child reaches at the age of 6 to 8 years.
It's a temporary teeth.
Temporary teeth, right? Then comes the permanent teeth, which will remain until the lifespan of the person. Okay, so it's can be called as second grown teeth, remains till old age, right? Okay, now talking about another type, talking about the types of these, we have 4 classification. One of them is incisors. Okay, their number is how much? Total 8.
4.
4 on upper jaw,
4 on down.
4 on lower jaw. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Then you have got different. Sorry, let's talk about its function as well. No. Function basically involves cutting and biting. Okay. Then you have got another type of that is called as canines. So basically, canines is you see carnivorous animals. They have got longer canines as compared to we humans, because we humans do not have a pure meat-based diet. We are omnivorous, right? So the function of canines is tearing and piercing the food. Okay, so the early humans, if you see, millions of years ago, the early humans, they basically used to have meat-based diet. They were hunters and gatherers. First, they were hunters. Later, they became gatherers of different types of foods as well. Okay, so tearing and piercing. Their numbers are total 4: 2 on upper jaw, 2 on lower jaw. Right, guys? Then see another type of teeth here. See these teeth, these two and these two here. Okay. Now, if you see these teeth, as compared to canines and incisors, their surface is more broad. Yeah. They are having a more flat surface, right? And what is their function, guys? Their function,
Chewing and grinding.
yeah, it is basically grinding and chewing the food, chewing and grinding the food. So these are called as premolar teeth, and the function involves basically grinding and chewing the food. Okay, I'm writing over here. Okay, so you have premolar. Their number is how much? It's also 8 here, right? 4 on upper jaw, 4 on lower jaw, right? Function chewing plus grinding. Okay, now comes the last teeth. See the last teeth here. These two teeth here. What are they called? They are
Molars.
molars teeth. They are called as molars teeth. Okay, and their function is basically to grind the food now. Okay, like chewing is being done by the other 3 set of teeth, the incisors, canines, and premolars. But the only function of this molar is to grind the food, to make it into powder-like form. Okay, like how you grind different types of spices in mixers. Okay, so its function is basically to grind the food. And one more thing, it is present only in adults. Like the childs under the age of 15, 16 do not have this grinder teeth, that is molar teeth. So it is present only in adults. And how many of them are? They are 8. 4 in upper jaw, 4 in lower jaw, guys. Okay. Function involves grinding. Okay, one more concept related to teeth is the concept of tooth decay. What is tooth decay? Any idea? See the structures here. You guys can see the defined structure here. Okay. Now, what is tooth decay? Yes, Sundus and Vaiga. Any idea about tooth decay? Like, you guys ever been to dentist or not? Or
Yes.
eating or eating too much chocolates,
They
huh?
just took out the
No,
tooth. That's all. I don't know.
no, sir, I haven't been. No.
I
Okay,
have
look,
been
you
multiple
have been,
times.
no? Okay, okay.
They just took out the tooth and it pains. It actually pains.
Obviously, it will pain too much. Okay, but while the dentist is operating on your teeth, you won't feel any pain at that time because they give you anesthesia. Okay, so look, what happens in tooth decay? There's a gradual damage of teeth. Okay, why is it so? Because some food gets stuck on the tooth. After some time that food after some time bacteria will start to grow on that stuck food particle, and the bacteria, the infection generated due to that bacteria will reach all the way up to the inside of the teeth, and it will reach the nerve endings. So you will feel a very sensational pain when someone develops a tooth decay. Basically what happens, the top layer, see this top layer of the tooth, it is starts to decay, it starts thin. So see here in the second figure, there's a food particle which got stuck here, and bacteria started to grow on it, right? And later on the bacteria has reached the inner part of the tooth as well. Okay, so how this bacteria is basically eroding the surface of the tooth? It basically starts to releases certain types of acids. Okay, guys, and slowly it will start to damage your teeth, and it will start reaching further and further inside the teeth. Okay, and it can be very painful. In worst case scenario, your teeth might be removed. Okay. Okay, now in the last figure, you will see the tooth decay has reached the nerve endings here. Nerve endings basically, or what? This is bone here. This is basically enamel. That is your tooth. Okay, now the nerve endings are here. Okay, and the decay has reached, the infection has reached all the way up to nerve endings. So the person will develop so much severe pain. Okay. So what are the basic causes of food decay? It is basically eating too much sugary food. Okay. And eating soft drinks and different types of chocolates. So the bacteria are known to grow on sugary types of foods, and they basically releases certain types of acids. Right, guys? Okay. So let's define it. It's a gradual damage of the teeth. Okay, it happens when food particles get stuck on the teeth and bacteria starts growing on it. Bacteria starts growing on it. Okay, and what will this bacteria release, guys?
Acids.
Acids. The bacteria releases acids and decays the layer of the teeth. Okay, of the
Okay.
teeth slowly. All right. So, and this will basically happen due to eating chocolates, sugary foods, basically foods which are high in sugar content. So, cows is consuming food which are high in sugar content. That's why it is advised not to eat too much chocolates. Otherwise, you might develop tooth decay. So you guys tell me, what are the preventive measures to avoid this tooth decay?
Like use less amount of sugar,
Yeah, well, that is the
not
first
eat
precaution.
chocolates, not eat chocolates that much.
Yeah, prevent sugary food. Okay, what else?
Like
Use a,
reduce eating chocolates so
yeah,
much.
and so basically you will prevent sugary food, lead a less sugary food. Okay, and you will
Brush your
clean your teeth with a dental floss. Okay,
brush your teeth 2 times.
yeah, clean your tooth using a dental floss. So dental floss is a thread recommended by dentists. So in between two teeth, there are certain food particles that might get stuck here. So that cannot be removed by usual brushing. So that has to be removed by a dental thread called as dental floss. Okay, guys. So that needs to be removed by a dental thread. Okay. And another thing is regular brushing. Regular brushing. Okay. And one more thing, we talked about, if we talk about the tongue, so the basic function of tongue is what? It basically mixes the saliva together with the food so that the proper digestion of food takes place. Okay, but the important thing is here is that, does the food in our mouth gets completely digested? The answer is obviously no. So there's only partial digestion of food taking place in our mouth. Okay. So the food gets only partially digested in our mouth. Okay. Now moving on, we have another organ of alimentary canal, that is the food pipe or esophagus. Right. So food pipe basically runs all the way from your mouth up to the stomach. Right, guys. So this is basically the food
So,
pipe. So the food which has got partially digested, now it will move on to our food pipe, that also called as what? Also called as esophagus. So food pipe basically starts from your neck region, running down your chest region all the way up to our stomach. Okay. In other animals also you will find out that the location and structure of food pipe is pretty similar. Okay, take example of giraffe or any other animal. In them also food pipe basically runs down their neck. Okay, now how the movement of food takes place inside this esophagus, that is the interesting thing here. Okay, so look here, there's a movement. Question is that how food moves in the esophagus, guys. That is the question here. How it moves in the esophagus. Any idea, guys? Like first thing is that the food obviously it will move downward.
it moves in a zigzag way, right? Like
Okay,
it does not
not
move
in a
directly.
zigzag way. Look, if you see a food pipe here, there's a regular contraction and relaxation in the muscles of the food pipe, like the muscles move like this. See, they are contracting here, then again relaxing, contracting and relaxing, contracting and relaxing. Okay, so if a food particle comes into the food pipe, like say this is a food particle, this is a food particle, via continuous movements of contraction and relaxation, this food particle will move down the food pipe and reach the stomach. Okay, so there's a motion called as movement that occurs in the food pipe that we call as peristalsis movement. So what is this peristalsis movement? It is simply the alternate contraction and relaxation movement, which leads to movement of food in the food pipe. So food moves in the esophagus via a motion called peristalsis motion. Okay, so how does this motion occurs? Once you eat any food, okay, it goes through regular contraction and relaxation. So that motion is being called here as peristalsis movement. Okay, guys. So sometimes what happens now? A piece of food particle from our stomach comes back to our mouth. This might have happened with you guys as well. Like if the person is suffering from indigestion, okay, or let's say if the food was, let's say the person is suffering from food poisoning. In that cases, the food particle, it might come back to the stomach, back to the mouth. Yes, Sundus and Vaiga, has this? Have you guys observed this?
Yeah, when I was 10 years old, I had food poisoning.
Yeah. Okay. So why is it that? Like the food particle will not basically jump from our stomach and come into our mouth. It goes through this backward motion of peristalsis. Okay, like the peristalsis movement, it leads to the downward movement of food particles now. There's a downward movement of food particles into our stomach, but sometimes food particles comes back to our mouth. It is due to the backward motion of the muscles of the food pipe. I hope this part is clear. There's nothing too confusing about this one. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now moving on, we have another J-shaped structure here. Okay. Sorry, a U-shaped structure here. If you guys see here, that is basically stomach here. So what is the function of the stomach here? See, if you see, it is a bag-like structure. Okay, usually a U-shaped structure, and it has got a very crucial role here. Okay, so whatever food which we are consuming, it goes to our stomach, and here it is churned and grinded. So it can also be called as a churning machine, where the food is it is broken down further. So many different enzymes acts upon it, and it is converted into paste-like a structure called as chyme. So it is said that it is the wildest part of the alimentary canal. Why? Because the food particle that comes to the stomach, so many enzymes, two different types of enzymes and acid acts upon it. It is basically turned into a paste-like form called as chyme. That is why it is known as the wildest and the widest part of the alimentary canal. Okay, remember the term widest. Okay, so lengthwise, it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It's a bag-like structure in a flat U shape. The stomach is connected with the food pipe and the small intestine. So from here, it is connected to the food pipe. This is the food pipe, guys. Okay. And from here, it is connected to the small intestine. Okay. Now, the stomach's inner lining produces three things. What are they? This is the inner lining we are talking about. See these inner linings. Inner lining of the stomach. It secretes three types of secretions. The first one is what? It is the mucus.
Mucus.
Yeah. Then you have got another secretion called as hydrochloric acid. Okay, Sundus and Vaiga. Hydrochloric acid.
Yes.
Okay. And then it secretes other type of digestive juices as well. Some digestive juices. So if you see the first secretion, mucus, you see, let's talk about hydrochloric acid first. Look, whatever food we are eating, it is not that it does not consist of any bacteria. Like bacteria are everywhere on earth. There's not even an inch square area where there is no bacteria. If you see your hands under a microscope, you will find hundreds of bacteria living in just a in an area of just 1 inch square. Okay, so if the food consists of some amount of contamination, some bacteria in it, this HCl acid will basically, this hydrochloric acid will kill all the bacteria present inside the stomach and the food. So it kills the bacteria present in the food. Bacteria in food. Now, another type of secretion, we have digestive juices. Okay, so look, this hydrochloric acid, it basically activates the digestive juices, meaning that the food that is coming into our stomach, the inner lining of the stomach releases this hydrochloric acid. Okay, now this digestive juices will also act upon the food, but for the digestive juices to act upon the food needs to be acidic in nature. Then only the digestive juices will act upon the food. So it activates the digestive juices. Are you guys getting it? Huh?
Yes, sir.
It
Yes.
activates the digestive juices. Okay. Now, if this is an acid, it might affect the stomach as well. It might affect the tissues of the stomach. So in order to prevent the tissues and the inner lining of the stomach, we have got this mucus here. So what does it do? It protects the inner lining of a stomach, guys. That is what the mucus does. Okay. And what does the digestive juices do here? They help in digestion of food by breaking down the proteins present in the food into simpler substances.